chance for them. Virtus.Pro aren't a bad team on this map, but obviously losing their in-game leader, that could be a bit of a problem, but we'll have to see. Coming into this, you have to get predictions before the pistol gets all the action going.
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna edge it to VP. I think they're gonna have enough to pull themselves through here. I've got faith in the experience and young guns over on the VP side, but it should be a close game.
Right, I'll just go on the other end of it and I'll pick Winstrike then to take it. Means at least one of us will be right at the end of this, Alex.
There you go.
But coming into the pistol, it looks like Virtus.Pro just want to go up towards the B holes. They have plenty of players already up there. And of course, plenty of utility. Mihu and Snacks carrying them on board. And they got plenty of time as well. There's Norbert waiting for this inner rush as they run straight through the ramp in towards the bomb site. It's Sobel to try and open things up. The stand-in for the side, trying to get it done, but it's Norbert to pick up the first kill. Sobel steps back in with a kill of his own, but it's picking through Winstrike. It's all on Bialy and Snatchy, and they've got themselves 2 kills here. Snatchy and Bialy, I think they're trying to win it out here. The K is still alive on Bondik, and Bondik is slithering his way through the back lines. Does he expect Bialy to be so close? Elsewhere, Snatchy has found himself the head of Quick, and it's all on Bondik now in a 1v2. Somehow, VP have pulled this one back. Snatchy and Bialy finding 3 kills, and obviously the 4th about to come through as Snatchy will peek. It's a triple from him into the pistol, and VP will win it.
Yeah, Bondik buying the kit and the smoke there on the pistol round, which isn't something you'd normally see that often from a star player, so maybe he will be taking a bit more of a supportive role, as we were kind of pointing out earlier. But well done by VP there to quickly storm that B bomb site. They're not going to get out of the woods too easily, though, because Winstrike will be forcing up into this second round, and those now cheaper Mag 7s are coming into play. Both Norbert and Kvik buying up those shotguns. You have to get very close to make sure that Mag 7 is a one-shot kill. Otherwise, you can easily be dealt with because the fire rate on the Mag 7 isn't great. So you can see Kvik pushing into Pop Dog, making sure he's got a close angle, and VP will have to make sure they keep their distance.
Yeah, this is basically where you want to have the shotguns, in those Pop Dog areas. Then you have a second player there just in case he gets overwhelmed and rushed with the CZ. And we've talked a bit about Winstrike and their prospects, but Virtus.Pro, I'd say probably, you know, they did build this team around Snatchy was the idea. That was sort of what was pitched at them, but it's just brought a bunch of players back. And Snatchy, on paper, is definitely the one you would look at as the star, but Mihu has been playing excellently in recent tournaments for Virtus.Pro, so we're going to try and continue that, and he will be the first man to pick up a kill into round number 2, and it's going to be a man advantage for Virtus.Pro.
Oh, Mihu's in behind as well. He's going to start to flank towards B. Norbert shouldn't really be able to hold this one off, especially with only the shotgun in play. That flank's starting to come through, but the rotation is also coming in from Winstrike right now. Norbert goes down. Snacks finds him on the edge of the smoke, and I think that's all Virtus.Pro needed to prompt the push towards the site. Kvik starting to rotate over, gets one kill with the shotgun, and with Boomich finding a frag of his own, it looked doable for a split second, but now Boomich is left in a 1-on-3, and VP know exactly where he is.
Well, time ticking away. VP to pick up 2-0, and Boomich will run away with the Mac 10. Got a lot on board as well. It's got the helmet, the Kevlar, the utility is there as well. So it's not too bad if he's able to save all of this. It means he can get a little bit more investment into other parts of it. He's actually got himself another kill. So, good job from Boomich. Stay alive and stay afloat. For EP coming into this. This will be their first sort of challenge they've had to face. And, oh, it's not even going to be enough to get too much done. So, Boomich really is the only man you can look at here. So, it will be a couple of weapons being invested. A pistol on the Kvik. Bondik picking up the CZ. And again, should be VP taking this one. And in the next, it should be the first gun round from Winstrike. So, a lot of time here for VP to start building up that money early on train.
They'll look to do that again in this round. 4 AKs in play for VP, so they would like to hold on to all of those if possible, but Snatchy has already been dealt with. That means the rest of the players will have to all win out on these fights if they want to save all those AKs. Bialy gets another entry in towards A, and despite this A stack from Winstrike, they are just getting picked apart on a hold. Good work from Virtus.pro to put those AKs to use, and it looks like VP will get the 3-0 lead without too many issues.
Yeah, as expected, when you invest on the Winstrike team, when they break a lot of their money, will put them down into a scary position early, and so VP do get these 3 rounds rather simply, only losing a couple of players at each time, so that means a lot of money can start to be built up. I'll be interested to see how much they've actually got in the bank after this one. Winstrike will have obviously the full buy coming through with all the bits and pieces needed. We have a strong buy. Interesting to see if they get the AWP immediately. Obviously, Train is a map that is very op-centric, and so the AWP is definitely a pivotal weapon. And all the CTs dying to the bomb. Bondic dropping.
Yeah.
And we'll be
He literally didn't have anything of value. He literally had a CZ, and that was it.
Straight away, the ops purchased.
Oops, out into round number 4. It's also worth mentioning that this was the map that Winstrike found a lot of success on over in the Major. I think it might have been the Major Qualifier where they beat Fnatic on this map. They beat NiP on this map. They played ENCE very close on this. They only lost 16-13 against ENCE, so that's clearly not a bad result considering ENCE's recent form. And sure, they've made a roster move, but Winstrike have always favored this map, so that's maybe a little scary if you are a VP fan. But then again, VP have come out swinging here with the 3-0 scoreline on the board. A couple of early fights coming through, but no damage done at the start of this round. Norbert will be that B bomb site anchor, and he will now get some assistance shortly as Fick is ready to rotate over if needed.
Grenade is going to go up towards Braunholz. Does a little bit of damage onto Bialy and Sobel. Mihu gets shot up with the AWP, gets legged down to 23. So just over a minute left to play with on the clock. No one yet falling, but a lot of damage done on Virtus.pro. Finally, they will answer a little bit back onto Boomich, but not really too much to write home about. And so VP definitely congregating towards the B bomb site. The pulled players over here from the CT side, they've got an inkling it will be towards the side of the map. And they have a third player that could rotate very quickly from the connector, so things are about to get difficult for Virtus.pro. They'll need to find these early kills. They charge on in. It's a great Molotov's tactic. It's Bialy to take a headshot, but 2 kills. Make it 3 coming in for the CT side. A nice Nachi and Mihu need to pull off a 2v4. 30 seconds on that clock, and the Molotov will push on forward.
Second smoke in towards A ramp. That makes matters much more difficult for VP. They need to find a pick quick here because there's only 20 seconds left to get that bomb. And with Mihu being nowhere near the action, I think the save call will probably come through. The question is, can Snatchy safely save that AWP in towards Braunholz? There's a chance that Winstrike push towards him, but at the same time, the CTs are wary of their own money. So they will not be pushing forwards. They will allow Snatchy to sit in towards Braunholz and save his gun. And that means we will get another gun round here into round 5. But good read there from Winstrike. I think they went for a little bit of aggression over towards A. Bondic started to push over towards Ivy, and that allowed them to rotate over towards B. And as soon as they won those opening trades on the B site, you could see that VP were pretty stumped at that point.
Yeah, indeed they were. And coming into this one, they will get the full buy in again. Obviously, they won those first 3 rather cleanly, and so they have a lot of money built up. Although the problems do arise when one of these teams eventually ends up losing this one, their money will be set back to a very scary position. Immediately, VP sending 3 players off towards the Ivy area of the map. Here they come on in. The bomb is there, along with 2 players on the CT side, looking right down the barrel, but it's Snatchy off towards Ivy, off camera, finds World Edit. As the man going down, and Virtus.pro will pick up the advantage, moving into round number 5. So things looking good for the Poles.
No real response from Winstrike after losing the opening pick. They continue with the setup they had at the start of the round, just with 1 fewer players holding on the A site, I suppose you could say. Vic will go for the AWP as he moves back up the train, and Norbert is going to rotate towards A, so this is a bit of a risk. They leave B wide open, but the risk seems to be paying off. Winstrike stacked in towards A. Bondik finds a double, but it's all up to Norbert, who has rotated over. He's got to hold down this A site, spots the first, sprays him down, gets the second player, finds him as well. It's into the 1v1, but Snatchy is going to sneak his way over towards B.
Snatchy already down in towards the B bomb site. Norbert's going to have to rotate on over towards that side of the map. And Snatchy's got plenty of time to get a good post-plant position. Plant the bomb down, well, usually where you would play towards Oil Train or CT. But Snatchy's gone for the wrong side, and Norbert's coming down through the ramp. Snatchy aims towards the connector. It's about to be shot in the back, and Norbert comes in with the kill. That's the pickup from Winstrike. A nice idea by Snatchy, but he just gets it wrong. And Norbert, perfectly played, comes in from behind.
What a round from Norbert. He wins the 1-on-3 for his team. They get their second round win in a row. And even with that bomb going down, VP's money will be limited into this 6th round. I think you can see as well that Norbert is definitely a player that doesn't play like he's an inexperienced player. Even though he's quite new to this level of play, he plays like he's got that experience almost. He plays very cool under pressure. I think that's part of the reason why he's comfortable playing as this B bomb site anchor as well, because oftentimes the player who's solo holding B is left with quite a lot of pressure on them, but Norbert seems to be able to deal with that fairly well. And you can see again here, Norbert may be tested on this B bomb site as VP start to creep towards him with the pistols.
Multitudes of Virtus Pro players going up towards Braun Halls. Norbert close by. And underneath the spools, it will be Kvik here. Long range with the AUG as the push comes in from Virtus Pro. Norbert needs to hold. There's a kill coming through immediately. It's just the pistols, but Sobel will get himself one on Norbert. Kvik gets one more. We get two. Snacks will step back in, but he's on his own in a 1v3. It's just unlikely to happen. And Boomich will drop him. 3 apiece here on the board.
And not even a bomb plant for Virtus Pro, sadly. Luckily, though, they did have quite a lot of money. I was almost expecting them to force up in that previous round, but they decided to take the safer approach just so that they could get the full nades into this round. No AWP in play for Snatchy, which is a bit of a shame, especially considering World Edit has an AWP over on the CT side. Could be a bit of a problem for VP. But we'll see if it comes back to cost them here. They've got the full nades to work with, and World Edit forces the pick up in towards ramp. That's such a risky peek, but it pays off for him. Snacks will get the trade back, but it's Boomich to clean up in towards Pop Dog. The bomb is dropped, and VP are in trouble once again.
Snatchy and Bialy have a lot of work to do here. They did find success in the pistol in this scenario, but this might be a stretch too far up against the full buy again here of the CT side. Winstrike starting to get a bit of momentum built up, and that's going to be hard to break. Actually, will move his way back from upper Braun Halls, and will recover that bomb. Currently, Winstrike, they do have plenty of control of the entire map, and Bialy's been spotted. That's a kill from World Edit, and Snatchy into the 1v4. He's found by Boomich from afar. 4-3 here. Winstrike are looking very good here on the CT side after the sort of early struggles from Virtus Pro, picking up the first 3 in a row, and then Winstrike have just been all over it when it comes to the gun rounds, which is definitely the better sign. You know, you want to be winning the rounds when it matters and not so much the ones that are given to you.
Well, then it's got another good spawn with this AWP. Looks like he might take some aggression in towards upper B. This time, though, Virtus Pro don't seem to be moving too heavily towards him. Bialy will be pushing through in towards A main. Molotov will force him to reposition. Elsewhere, World Edit did not go for the full-on aggression with his AWP. It looks like he's decided to play it safe, maybe realizing he's against pistols, realizing there's no need to take that unnecessary risk early into the round, because at this long range, there's basically no risk of World Edit losing this fight, and even if he goes down, he doesn't give VP the opportunity to get the AWP. So I like the safe approach there from World Edit, and Bondik and Boomich will both chime in to open up the round.
Snatchy He's going to look onto the bomb site, looks far towards stop sign. It's Bondic and Vivek to step up for all the frags. It will be 5-3. And Winstrike, I'm starting to paint the picture here. It's starting to get very one-sided. If Virtus Pro can't answer back in this gun round, the ult will be pulled out from Snatchy. The AKs are there as well. And this has an option here for Winstrike to go down a very good-looking path for them. The scoreline can be well built up, whereas Virtus Pro, you need to get a couple more here on the board to stay comfortable and stay in the game. Utility is there on pretty much every player. Snatchy the only one lacking, and that's because he's gone for the AWP, the big expensive gun, which is the AWP. And I'll be interested to see what they can get done here. Snatchy has definitely been a player to watch on Train. Hopefully he shows us some of that level today.
Boomich getting up close and personal. He's going up the ladder. Oh my god. This man has got balls of steel, and it's gonna work for him. No. What? Boomich doesn't get the kill there. I thought he would have found a frag, but instead he's pushing through further. He's pushing for the massive flank into T-spawn. This is crazy. Boomich is in behind. He's going to drop the bomb. That is awful for Sobol. Boomich is in T-spawn right now, Dinko. This is crazy.
He doesn't care. He'll just walk in behind, takes the kill onto Bialy. He's got 2 kills into the round already. Norbert steps up for 1, and Bondig gonna hold towards Ivy, finds Mihu, and off camera, World Edit will connect on the Snacks. It's going to be 6-3, and a clean pickup from Winstrike. You know, I kind of said Virtus Pro needed to have some success into that last one, but this time, it's just a walk in the park for Winstrike. They don't lose a single player. I think it's all onto sort of the confidence plays from Boomich there.
I don't know how you get the confidence to just walk up that ladder like 10 seconds into the round. Doesn't even kill the players over towards B. He flanks all the way through T spawn. Just absolutely absurd that he pulls that off. And VP are starting to really struggle now. That last round especially, they couldn't even find a single frag. They're just losing fights across the map. And that's the kind of round that can make you question your play, because you just get kind of wrecked by some aggression from Winstrike. You know that if you hold a default, you should be set to get the opening kill. Instead, it goes against them, and now VP respond with an A play, finally finding the entries.
Yeah, there are 2 good kills coming in. Mihu gets a 3rd for VP, but Bondic steps up. It's a triple kill into the run. He's going to pull it back into that 2v2. And there's now nothing separating the 2 teams. Want to get onto the bomb site of VP to try and get that bomb planted. There's another opportunity here for World Edit as Bialy is dropped. All on the stand-in Sobol to try and pull off a 1v2. Winstrike are incredibly low on both players. If they come charging towards him, he might be able to find a couple of them, but they think it's B. He hasn't got the bomb, though. He'll have to go back and get that. And Bondic could get into position at Pop Dog, which could cause some problems here for Sobol.
Ooh, Sobol trying to find the right angle of approach as he moves towards the A bomb site. Bondic will try and just contain him, looking at the top of the ladder. And so Sobol has the opportunity to get the bomb down. The question is, does he know he can get that bomb planted safely? It's not easy to just plant that bomb when there are 2 CTs ready who could kill you from either side. But it seems like Sobol has finally figured it out. The bomb will be planted, but unfortunately he will be caught in the back. Really nice round from Bondic. He picks up a quad kill in this one. And Winstrike continue their win streak. That's their 7th round win in a row. This has not been great for VP. They have struggled to get anything going after winning that pistol round. And I'm almost surprised we haven't seen a timeout at this point, Dinko, because nothing has been going their way.
Yeah, it's a little strange. I mean, even in that round, they had a lot of success in the opening engagements. They get onto the A bomb site, they find themselves the early picks, and then Bondic just finds 3 kills straight away, ends the round with a quad kill. Great stuff from Bondic indeed, and it will be Winstrike really cementing control over this. VP have another buy coming in. Lost bonus is at its maximum, so they can get themselves all the rifles in play. No AWP to challenge World Edit, but at this point you just want to try and find something. So VP not really having too much success towards Braun Hall. Sobol want to go in on his own. He will pick up the kill onto Norbert. Still 1 player up there. Or the CTs, just below the ramp is World Edit with that AWP. So if Sobol is to walk around, which is most likely here, he will fall to Boomich. And that's a great push, a reaction from the CT side, and that's Bondic getting the kill in favor of Winstrike. It's on Snatchy, Mihu, and Snacks to try and win this for the side. Well, that it nearly gets another, but it's Mihu to walk through for a kill. Boomich holds stead, Snacks dropped, and it's now all on Snatchy. 1v3, Kvik stops him, and it's actually incredibly hard to cast when you can't watch any of the action, Alex. Kind of strange, we're missing everything.
It's hard to keep track, isn't it? It's a little bit awkward. I think Boomich pushed up the ladder again, though. It's so strange how VP are losing these rounds right now. It almost feels like if VP just held back in a default setup, that they could just wait for the aggression and probably get some opening kills to go their way. But they just don't seem aware of all of the possibilities. I think that was in part because Sobol got flashed in towards B, so he was looking for the entry there, ends up getting caught off guard by the flank. But this time, VP will be sticking together, making sure they can't get picked apart across the map. They will be going in towards this B site as a team.
Only one to play here to defend. Fifth. Number 5, which is Kvik, is rotating back on in, but this could be the play coming on through for Virtus Pro. They need to move quickly. There's a flank coming through as well. Norbert's going to hold. He's got himself 2 kills. Mihu and Bayali fall. Snatchy will pick up 1 with the scout, but only too much happy here at this point. This player already slipped as well on the back. That's Sobol. He's dropped by Kvik. That's all on to the rest of VP, Snatching and Snacks to try and pull this all the way back. It's just unlikely it will happen, I'm afraid. Snatchy locked up towards Braun Halls, and obviously Snacks gone on a bit of a walk. Bondic could actually drop him here.
Ooh, Snacks seems to have managed to get away from the action for the time being. Unfortunately, Wild Edit has him cut off over towards Ivy. It seems like the CTs are very aware of Snacks' position right now. The pole will try and move forwards, but there are 2 CTs waiting for him. Winstrike win their 9th round in a row. And I think it's got to be time for VP to just spread out into that default setup at the start of the round. Just hold for the early aggression, because I think that's the 3rd round in a row where Boomich has just gone running up the ladder very early on. Surely at some point you've got to just hold back, even if it's just for the first 30 seconds, because Winstrike have more often than not been pushing very early into these rounds.
Even when VP have found some success, with the opening kills coming through, they just have never really been able to get it done off the back of them. Because Winstrike have so much depth in their team right now, everybody's had their rounds and their moments. Boomich has gone very aggressive, his sort of signature play. Got in behind them, crippled the attacks. He's sitting on 11 and 6. Bondic, 12 and 4. 12 and 8 on Kvik. The quietest player has been Wild Edit, and he's even had his times to shine. And then finally Norbert has been tested, and he does a great job of holding. So Winstrike just looking solid on the CT side, and that is a big problem for Virtus Pro. They haven't really been able to find a way to break down that door.
This is what I was waiting for from VP. Hold that setup. If Boomich goes up the ladder, he should be dead every time. Snack should win this fight every single time. And Boomich has pushed this ladder so often that it's just worth sitting back here. This time, though, Boomich will play it a little more cautiously as he spots Snacks at the top of Pop. Wild Edit will be looking for an opening out in towards Ivy, but it looks like VP have been able to hold this setup at the start of the round. Trade comes in towards Wild Edit. That's not bad for VP. They can work from this 4v4.
Well, Boomich has caught Snatchy. All the way back towards T-spawn, though. They've got to go back and recover that from Virtus Pro. But this could be the frag to pull it back into a 3v3. Sobol will find Boomich just going on a bit of a not needed push, I would say, up towards the top of the ladder. I mean, they already had the advantage. No need to do that. But it shows the confidence that's in the team right now. They can just afford to do that and just hope they can pull it back, but Snacks is going to try and capitalize off of that mistake. We'll find Kvik and extend the kills in favor of VP. They've got the man advantage, but with 30 seconds left, they've still got to push. And Bondic has been the rock for Winstrike. He's been able to pull it back so many times for them when they have lost that advantage. So 20 seconds, VP try to go in towards the B-bomb site. There's only one player close enough to do anything, and that's Norbert. He's back towards the connector. He's going to have to wait on his teammate to arrive, and the bomb can get planted for Snacks.
Risky plant out in the open, but it gives Virtus Pro more options in the post plant. Snacks is up close in towards Oil. That may be a position that is completely overlooked. No, it's not. Bondic looks down and manages the second headshot. That's unreal from Bondic. The reaction's on point from this man. He will make sure to slowly go down the ladder as to not fall to his death. And again, Winstrike get the slight edge they needed. That round looked slightly better from VP in terms of finding the frags, but at the same time, the overall idea in the round didn't seem to be fully communicated between the players, because once they were in that 3v2, Bialy ended up solo pushing through Ivy. He ends up losing his life. Then that 2v2 retake is much more doable. So once again, it just seems like the team play is slightly off from VP in some of these rounds.
Yeah, it's very disjointed and indecisive. When we see we've walked in towards the B-bomb site, not really ready for what they were going to do. It seems like the idea isn't very clear across the board in everybody's head. And so they're very, very indecisive when it comes to the final plays. They've gone in with like 2 players left. They've lost those early picks. And even when they have the advantage, they don't really react off that. They don't know what to do. And perhaps that is the lack of leadership steering them in the right direction. And I think that's a problem Virtus.pro have got to look at for the future. Towards the upper brown halls, immediately a bit of a slower default here from Virtus.pro. 2 towards Ivy, 2 up towards the brown halls, and 1 staying a little bit more passive towards a main that's Snatchy. Winstrike doing early damage on the Mihu with the grenades. The play can continue to be a bit slower. Snacks might be the man to open things up or have the opening engagement against Boomic. Small gap to play with, and it's actually Snacks taking most of the damage on board. 4 HP on board.
And not the fight that Snacks was looking for. Kvik in a nice off angle in towards A main. Could be a bit of a problem here, but the trade is found on towards him. This is what we needed more of from VP. The trade's looking good. However, Norbert has been allowed to rotate over towards A. There are plenty of CTs waiting on this site, but the kills keep on coming. It's all up to Bialy. He gets 1 kill back, but he's got 2 more to find, and he realizes that he may be able to find a weak spot over towards B. So Bialy will fall back, try and see if he can win this clutch, but Norbert has already rotated back to the B site. Bialy will go down. It's Norbert to hold on once again. And Dinko, Winstrike have won the last 11 rounds in a row. Ever since the pistol round, VP have found nothing. Yeah,
it's a very scary sign for VP at this point. You kind of pitched them to be the favourites coming into this one, in your opinion.
Oh, don't bring that up.
But I was looking at the odds from GG.Bet, and they were kind of closer for VP, but they started to sort of slip away. Rightly so, as Winstrike have just been in control as soon as we hit that first gun round. You have to remember, it could have been even more dominant if Winstrike won the pistol. VP, that's the only thing that's gone their way. And again, that was close. So, not great from VP at all here. Snacks will find Boomic, and that'll open things up for Virtus.pro. Try and hang on to it as World Edit. It's a trade. It's towards team in. Snatchy the shot. He's going to run right into Mihu. So this is looking good for VP. Perhaps a chance to get another round as Bialy will find Bondic onto Norbert and Kvik to try and win a 2v5.
At this point, they have to just try and make a play. Just try and take some fights on the CT side. Seems like Kvik has been able to do just that. Gets 1 kill back for his team, but they need plenty more to have any real chance at this round win. Norbert sneaking forwards, could have dropped the bomb, but unfortunately for him, Snacks will finish the job. And so VP get their 4th round on the board at the end of the half, at least winning 1 gun round, Dinko, but they've got to do a little bit more than that heading into their CT side.
They definitely do. At this point, they have just anything going their way as a bonus. They need to move into the second half. They need to win this pistol. It's incredibly important for them to get a good start. Yes, if you pick up the last round of the half, if you can continue that momentum through to the pistol and the follow-ups, perhaps there is a comeback to be had, especially on the CT side. I feel like you can get a lot of runs in a row. You can get that snowball effect going. And Virtus.pro, why can't they do it? You know, Winstrike have found 11 in a row. VP need to do the same. They need to find 12. But I mean, in a row. It's not likely to happen, but we'll see if Virtus.pro can do it.
CT side of Train, definitely the favoured side. So it's not completely out of the question for VP. Again, the Winstrike are definitely favourites right now, considering the current scoreline. And if they win this pistol round, they might be too far ahead. But VP have got themselves an opportunity. If they win this pistol, they could easily start to mount a comeback. The current hold from VP is kind of strange. They were stacked in towards connector. Finally, they start to move towards the A site itself. However, Winstrike will be taking their time on this pistol round. Boomich has got that one set of nades, and they start to move towards B, but Bialy is in towards upper. He could be in trouble. As he goes down, the B bomb site is very vulnerable.
That's a great kill for Norbert. Bialy was just hoping he could stay behind him and they would go down the ramp. We see Cold Zero do that a lot where he just sits towards upper and lets them walk down towards the ramp. They don't expect him to be up towards the top of heaven. He can pick off a couple of players and wait for the rotations from his teammate, but him going down is not great at all for VP. They haven't committed to the site just yet, so Virtus.pro can't really rotate, and that's a great kill again from Norbert, opening up the B bomb site. And now VP have to rotate with 3 players. The bomb already planted. This is looking perfect for Winstrike. Just 3 more kills to find. Snacks does have a kit and a smoke, so they can play it a bit slower on Virtus.pro. They can take their time and make sure they connect the headshots. Mihu starts it off well on their affair back inside of the bomb site. Mihu looking for some more, but it's Sobel to find a headshot. Mihu with another, and also Boomich and World Edit to try and get it done as they move on in. VP finding some success here. Again, they have got that kit, you have to remember. The World Edit standing strong. Awkward engagement against Mihu, but he will find the kill. As Boomich and World Edit to pull it through in the end as Boomich gets the double. It's 12-4. Winstrike only 4 away from victory.
They are not too far away now. As you were saying, though, really good work from Norbert. Once again, he's found quite a few impact kills throughout this map. Getting that USP was so useful as well, because he just taps off the head at long range in towards connector to get that second entry. And I really like how Winstrike played that round after getting the initial opening, because they could have just tried to instantly pressure that B bomb site, thinking that they found the entry they needed, but that would have been a bit of an unnecessary risk at that point. And you saw that VP heavily rotated over towards B initially, but then they started to rotate back towards A. As soon as the push didn't come through, they thought that they'd be better off rotating some players over towards the A side of the map. So good stuff by Winstrike there, just to make sure they don't get caught out. And surprisingly, Sobol has found a 3k on the round. I thought this was just going to be a full eco where we don't see too much action, but Sobol is making it somewhat interesting.
Yeah, he's doing some damage. Desperately wants to hang on to this Galil. Bomb has been planted. At this point, does Sobol just want to go and see what he can get done? Hopping in towards the ladder. There's a player waiting for him, and Boomich will end any hopes for him. It's 13-4, only 3 away here. Winstrike looking to try and take this game convincingly. Virtus.pro need to stand strong though, as they will get a buy in here. It's the AUG in the hands of Snacks, AUG on the hands of Mihu and Sobel. And M4 is for Snatchy and Bialy. No AWP, but those AUGs can act as the weapon to hold those little vertical angles perfectly. I think this is definitely one of those maps that the AUG meta really works on. Train, definitely up there, if not the best map for it.
Yeah, I'd probably say it is the best map for these AUGs. There's just so many good positions you can play with these guns, either at long or close range.
Yeah.
Push comes forwards though. Mihu with the nade will try and slow things down, and he gets a frag, but Bondik finds the trade on towards him. Winstrike just overrunning this A bomb site. Kill after kill coming in, and it's all up to Sobol to rotate over. He is left in a 1 versus 3, and he won't be much longer. What a shot from Wild Edit to seal the deal.
Yeah, Winstrike is just running over Virtus.pro literally at this point, just storming through Ivy onto the A bomb site, getting the kills needed, and job done. They want to get out of this one as quickly as possible. VP are looking a bit shaky at this point. It'll be the pistols being invested. They'll leave some money in the bank for a rainy day. And it's very rainy, Alex. In fact, it's a thunderstorm for Virtus.pro at this point, and they're going to have to try and pull it back. Winstrike coming into this, it's the full AKs, full utility. I don't really see a way in which Virtus.pro can pick this up, but perhaps there's a miracle to be had.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Doesn't seem like it. The AKs are raining into this A site, making it look easy against these pistols. Some damage done to Wild Edit and Bondik, but they've just cleaned up the round win. 15-4 for Winstrike. And this has not been the game that VP were wanting after winning the pistol round as well. they've just fallen apart. There's no other way to put it. Winstrike have just been one step ahead in almost every single round.
They haven't really been tested either, you know. On the CT side, the first 3 they did go in favor of Virtus Pro. Then Winstrike just start this incredible show and run of 11 runs in a row. VP get one lucky one towards the end, and after that, it's just been again Winstrike on the T side, not being challenged even slightly. VP look to change that. It has to be flawless from here, Alex. They need to find 11 themselves just to bring it to overtime. And even after that, that's where things get even harder. So things are not looking good for the Polish. I guess you've kind of got to look at it. You've got to give them a little bit of leeway here, Alex, though. You know, they've lost their leader. They've got a stand in playing. Winstrike have just brought Bondik in. They have a system in place, and Bondik is a player with so much experience, he can just sort of fit into a team and do his role that he's done so many times. Like you said earlier, he's been on lots of different teams, so he's definitely used to playing different roles, so he can just slot in anywhere. He's like a universal plug, Alex. Works in any ship, any hole, he just goes in it. He makes it work.
Is that a real thing? A universal plug?
Yeah. It's kind of like one that just has everything. It's like the Swiss Army knife of plugs. You know, you go to Europe, you hit a little switch, it changes to the European layout.
Oh, one of those ones. Yeah, okay.
That's Bondik.
Fair enough. Oh, he's top fragging right now, so yeah, definitely proving that. Seems like he could be capable of being the star player for this Winstrike team. It's early days yet, but we'll wait and see as Boomich nearly gets a free frag in towards B. He will find it on the follow-up. Trades keep on coming into a 2-on-2, and with 20 seconds left, that bomb will begin to move in towards A. Snatchy, though, is going back towards the B site. He rotates off at just the wrong time, and that means he is left in a 1 versus 2 retake. That bomb finally crossing to the site. Well, then it will get the bomb down safely, but it's into the 1v1. Snatchy will start to move forwards from Ivy. Well, then it is low on health, but Snatchy doesn't know that. Well, then it holding the angle, and 1 bullet to the head is all he needs. It's a 16-4 victory.